Hey guys, PizzaLover here. This is episode 3 on how to code a Minecraft plugin. In this episode, we're going to be working on GUIs and detecting player chat events and working with hash maps. So what we plan on doing in this video would be basically allowing admins of the server to be able to change the config messages we've set up in episode 2 through a GUI. Like as you can see here, it's the getConfig.getString prefix.fly prefix. We're going to basically just allow them to edit those messages. So yeah, let's get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to do a public static main, then plugin for the variable name. So what this is going to do is it's going to allow us to get any sort of data inside this main file, well, in this main class by just doing main.plugin.whatever. So we can get like the configs and save data, reload data, and set data. So we also need to go and basically define or give this plugin a actual like actual value to it because currently there isn't really any. So we can easily just do right when the plugin starts up, do just plugin equals this. And so now if we go into utils.java, you can do main.plugin, and then you can do get config. It should probably be in here. So main.plugin.get config. See? And then you can also do save config and reload config. Okay. So if we're working with GUIs, let's create a new class. We're gonna just call it GUI, and we're gonna implement listener. Now let's go and before we forget, add in a what is it called? Well, let's register the event. So right in our on enable, we can do get server dot get plugin manager dot register events. Now it's going to ask for a listener, and a plugin. So when it's talking about plugin, it's just meaning whatever ones extends Java plugin. So you could do like this, or you could do like plugin, or you could do main.class. So for this case, let's just do the new GUI for our listener. A listener is anything that that implements listener, and then plugin, we're just going to do this. And so yeah, now our event's registered, so if we do anything in here, it'll actually go to work. So in our public class GUI, let's just go and create a inventory. So let's just do public static inventory, and then we can have the name of the inventory. And now that's going to equal bucket or dot bucket. Make sure to import that one. Same with this inventory or dot bucket dot inventory. Okay, so bucket dot create inventory. It's now going to ask for some different variables for it. First one is the container owner. Now, when you're making a plugin where it's like player vault or something like that, you'd want to specify that the inventory is made just for this one person, or that the inventory owner is this one person, rather than do like everyone, which would be null. But in terms of just doing like a GUI that will a GUI that will take like anyone's input and then do whatever, we don't need set a owner for it. So in this case it'll be null. Now for this next one, it's inventory type. So you could do inventory type dot anvil, like there, anvil, chest, beacon, things like that. Or if you're just wanting to do a chest, you could put a slot, like a amount of slots down. In this case, I'm gonna do 54 slots. And now we need a string variable for a name. So basically the name of the GUI. So let's just do util dot colored string, and then we do like fly admin GUI, and then let's just make it so fly is in white and bolded, then admin is red, and then for GUI part, it will be just like a lime green or like just in color codes it's green. It's like really light, so I just say lime green, but yeah. So we now have the inventory created. Let's create a function now, public static open inventory. Now we're gonna need a player variable. I forgot to add in void. There we go. Also, we need to import this player variable. There we go. And now we can just do like p.openInventory inventory. Now, this is gonna just be a blank inventory. If you want it so it's like there's glass around it, you could go and create another function like public static void add glass or something like that, and then require a inventory. Actually, let's just rename it to like just so then yeah, and then we can do add glass inventory, and so this will add the glass in, then it'll open it. Well, it'll do whatever's inside here, so let's just add in the glass in here. So new.set item, and then we'll do like 0, then new item stack material dot glass. Well, it's stained glass. So now in Java versions 1.8 and above to like 1.12.2, for like the names, they're not like their normal names. Like it's not just like dirt, grass. They usually do it by like ID values of like 0, 1, etc., etc. But it's actually like if I call it's like 2 and then 0 or something like that for both. Well, dirt is 0 and then yeah. Okay. But yeah, in these versions there's the material.stained glass, but for the different types of stained glass, like for normal stained glass, it would just be like 163, well 163 or something like that. Like probably not the correct like data value, but it'd be 163, but then to change it, it'd be the colon and then the byte value. And so this one would be 10. So it's like, yeah. But for ours, what we're going to do is we're going to add in a comma. We're going to have to declare that it is a byte, and then we need to do a value. If I called 7 is the stained glass, I could be wrong. That's what but I'm pretty sure what it is. Let me just check. Yep, gray stained glass pane. I should have done stained glass pane. There we go. So yeah, gray is 7. You could easily figure out like which one's which by going to game and having advanced tooltips on, doing things like that. I just quickly used Google and searched it up, but yeah. So this will do, it'll set the very first slot with a gray stained glass pane. So let's just have it so it's like 3, 6, 9. So let's just set up the glass pane to be all around our GUI. There's probably a more efficient way of doing it by using like for loops and things like that, but yeah, I'm just not bothered in this tutorial. It looks like doing it like this, it makes it look worse, but yeah. I don't mind since it's just, yeah. Mainly for showcasing purposes and get you more into coding rather than make it absolute, like, the best code ever. There's always ways to make things better, so I say go look for it, and yeah. Okay, so if we're doing 54 slots, how many rows is that? That should be 5 rows, right? It's actually 6 rows. So 6 rows, let's just comment that. So if it's 6 rows, we'd need 4 on each one. And now let's start off with the left side. And so for this, it would just be like 9, 18, 27, 36. And so that should be all of them for that one. Now for this area, it'd have to be 17, 26, 35, and then 44. Yeah. So that's all the glass that we need. And then opening it, it's then just, yeah, using that variable. So now that we have this, let's go and create our event for, what is it called? Our event for when someone clicks a item to just not allow them to take it out. So what we can do is we can do add event handler, then we can do a public, public void on inventory click. You can name this whatever you'd want, but we're just going to grab the inventory click event. And so now this event will be called whenever someone clicks the item. Now we're going to do a few checks. So if e.getCurrentItem is equals to null, we're then going to return. We're also going to add in a OR statement, which is just by adding those two in. So OR e.getCurrentItem dot getType is equals to material dot air. Since getType will return, we'll get a material right here that you can see. Public material getType, and then get the material of this item. And then we're just checking if it's air. So if it's either it doesn't exist or it's air, just to return it, we're then going to do if e dot, sorry. So if e dot get inventory, wait, yeah, okay. So get clicked inventory dot get name dot equals ignore case, and then we're just going to copy this name right up here. So equals ignore case, and then utils.colored string is equals fly admin. Then we'll do whatever's inside of here. So in this case, e.set cancel true. So now when they click on a item, it'll just cancel it. So now that we have a detection for click events, and we have a thing for glass, I'm going to just minimize this function just so then it's easier to see. All we have to do now is add in the items, add in a click event, have a hash map to check if a player is currently like changing a setting, and yeah. So let's go and create another function. I know it's a lot of functions, but Functions are usually a good way to go. Also, sorry if you hear this noise. I'm pretty sure it's rain, so yeah. It's public static void create item. Let's actually not do public static void. Let's do public static item stack create item. String name material and then lore. Something like that work? Nope. Okay. Let's just make sure it's a string. Okay, so let's do item stack. Item is equals to new. Oh, sorry. Item stack, and then we're gonna do material. Well, yeah, we can do material. Let's also put a amount variable. There we go. Now let's do a item meta. Item meta is equals to item dot get item meta. And then we can do item meta dot set display name. Then we can do the name item meta dot set lore. Now it says list string lore. We could just do array list string lore. Both works. And then we could do a item dot set item meta. And so we now have a way to easily create a item, since instead of having to do this for every single item, we now just need to call this create item. Now, it does show the red, it's because we haven't returned item. Once we've done that, it'll now just, yeah. So, with this now, we create another class, it's a public, sorry, not class, function, it's a public static void add items. And then, of course, we need the inventory inf, so then we can add it in. So we have the add class, then we have add item. Now inside here, we can just do inventory dot set item. Now, before we continue on, let's write down everything that we're gonna have. So we're gonna have a set prefix, a set. Oh, jeez. Set no permission. Set flying enabled. Set flying disabled. And then set console message. So that's going to be five different items in a 54 slot area. And so we just need to figure out where each one should be at. But yeah, I'm gonna first show an example on creating the item. So create item. Now for the string name, we could use utils.chat, or sorry, colored string, and then we can do a chat message for that, and then we could do material dot for the prefix. What should we do for the prefix? Just need to think for a quick second. So for no permission, I'm saying we should do a barrier. We could do a written book. Yeah, let's do a written book. And then the amount, we'll do 1. and then for the lore. So let's just do like a prefix lore right here, and then let's create a list of a string prefix lore is equals to new array list. Right, we need to input a array list in there, and then yeah. Okay. So now that we have this prefix lore, we can then just do prefix lore dot add, and then we could do a utils dot colored string. Click me to set the chat prefix. And now, if we don't add anything, it'll just be purple. So what I'm thinking, we just do and F to make it white. If you try doing and R, it'll reset it, which will make it purple again. So yeah, we could do something like this. You could go and what could you do? Something you could do is you could do like array style as list, and then you can basically just do something like that. If I recall, let's see here, provided list. Okay, so with this, you'd have to change that to a list, and then you would have to change right over here to a list. We'll just have that, so then you can do both. But yeah, so you could do that, or you could do just new array list, and then yeah, something like that. Either way works. Whatever you feel like would be better. I just am gonna do these individual ones just so then it looks, well, you can easily read it. So for this video, I'm only gonna be setting them all as like 0, 1, 2, etc., etc. Actually, we wouldn't be able to do 0, we'd have to do 10 since we'd be cutting off one of our glass areas. And so I'll be doing like 10, 11, 12, etc., etc. I'll just create them now. So we're going to need 5 different ones, so we just do that. It's 11, 12, 13, 14. So this one is our prefix, so set prefix, set no permissions. I'll set that as a barrier. Set flying enable message. Jeez, with my it's always lowercase, never a capital for some reason. So yeah, we have those flying enabled. We could do right. We'd have to do wool, and then we'd have to do the data values. If I recall, the data values would probably be the same as like stained glass. Don't quote me on that, since yeah. And so we never set up a way for bytes as well. So let's just do like byte and then byte. Well, we could do int bytes and then right in here we can then just do like byte, byte, and then yeah. Actually, we'd have to do like ID. Okay. So we'd have to do it after the amount, so byte ID. You can change this ID to whatever you'd like, but yeah. And so let's just add in one more. So this one, for most of them, they're going to be just 0. I'm just going to add 1 for each one. But then if we're doing wool, then we will just, or anything with the ID, then yeah. Now, I don't know if these values are correct or not for the ones I'm trying to do. There isn't really a way for me to check right now, and I don't want to open up Minecraft right now, so yeah. So yeah, doing something like that will do the job. So we now just need to do these ones. No perm lore flying enabled lore flying disabled lore console error lore. And then let's just create a few more of these. So 3, 5, okay. And then so no perm lore, click me to set the no permission message. And then flying disable. And then console error. And then console error message. So yeah, with all these now set, we got all the add items. I know this isn't the cleanest way of doing it, but yeah, it's more just for showing you guys on how to. So, okay, let's finish off with this area. Also, let me see the time. Okay, 27 minutes, Jesus. Okay. So let's just do like a if e dot get current item dot get item meta dot get display name dot equals ignore case. So this is going to do it by item names. I feel like this will probably be a better way of doing it than just by doing the item type. Let's just make sure we got all of them, and then yeah, we're just gonna need to add all of these. No permissions, flying enabled message. So the thing about equals ignore case is that it will, like if it's capital or lowercase for any of them, it doesn't matter. I know that I'm not discussing too much, which I'm sorry about. Let me just go through this. So what this is doing is getting the current item. Well, it's the event dot get current item dot get item data dot get display name dot equals ignore case, and then it's checking if the names are the same. If so, it'll do whatever's inside of these areas. So I'm currently just setting it all up so then each one, like each of our items has like a different category. They'll allow us to do whatever we want inside of them. And so yeah, now that we have a check for each one, we're now going to need to make a hash map. So right by our public static inventory, we could do public static hash map. Now for a hash map, it takes two values. So the first one is going to be the player UID. Then the second one is going to be, what is it going to be? So if the first one's a UID, next one we just need the message. And so we just need the category, really. So let's just do string. And then we can do like players editing is equals to new hash map. And so now that we have this, we need the UID string. So if they click the set prefix, so we're going to be doing chat events now. And so with this, let's just do, when they click the item, it gets canceled, and we're going to do p dot. Oh, I forgot to add in a player variable. That's my bad. So let's just do player p is equals to e dot get who clicked. We're going to get an error, so if you hover over it, it said required type player provided human entity. We can just do cast to org.bucket.entity.player. So now what we can do is we can do p.close inventory. We can do players editing dot puts. Now we need a UID for the key, so p dot get unique ID. And then this one we're just going to do prefix. And so what this is going to do is it's going to close the player inventory there, and it's going to add them to the hash map. We're now just going to send them a message saying, let's just do util.colorString. Please type the prefix you want for the. Please type the prefix that you. Sorry, please type what you want the chat prefix to be. And then we're just going to let them know to add color to and number. Example and 3. And then, yeah, we basically just gotta do this for all of them. And then this one is flying enabled, flying disabled, and then console. Now, actually, yeah, we could leave it like that, yeah. So with just all this, it's a lot of just like copy and pasting for it, which it's kind of like, yeah, might be annoying, but yeah. So with all that now nice and done, we just need to do a event handler and check for player chat events. So we could do add event handler, public void on chat event, And now we need, instead of it being like player chat event, since if I recall it's deprecated, yeah, it's a deprecated like event, so you don't want to do it since it's soon to be removed. And so what you want to do is you want to do a sync player chat event. And so now with this, sorry, 1 second, let me just, one thing, there we go. Okay, so now what we want to do is well, let's just first do player p is equals to e dot get player. Now we just need to do if player's editing dot contains key p dot get unique ID. I'll just return that and then make the opposite. So if it doesn't contain the player inside of it, then it'll just return. But if it does, what we're going to do is we're going to use a switch variable. Well, we're going to use like a switch function. So switch, and then what we're going to do is player editing dot get, and now we need the key, which would be p dot get unique ID. And now from here, we can just put whatever we want. So we could do case prefix, and then we could do like the code, and then we could break. And so if it's prefix, all we have to do now is we need to do main dot plugin dot get config dot set, and if we're doing that one, let's look in our config. So prefix dot fly underscore prefix. Let me just copy that and then paste that. Actually, that's probably not. So let's just do prefix dot fly underscore prefix. Let's hope that they're the exact same. Yep. And so now what we're going to do is set it to e dot get message. And then p dot open inventory. Let's make sure to do our main dot plugin dot save config. And then we can also send a message saying, what should it say? Let's just do the utils dot colored string. You have successfully updated the prefix message. And then F, just then make sure that's white. And now let's just copy and paste this 5 times. Or, well, it's 4 times. So 1, well, we're at 2 now. 3, 4, 5. We're going to get a error since they're all the exact same. So we're now just going to edit these ones to be the same ones as like the rest of them. Now for this one, no permission message. Then this one is the flying enabled message, flying disabled, and then this one is the console error message. And now all we have to do is go into each one of these and yeah, just add those. So this one's flying disabled. And then I'll just copy this one. Enabled. And now, once we've done all that, all we have to do now is players editing dot remove, and then we can just do the key, which would be p dot get unique ID. Here, let's just do this. Actually, yeah, let's just make sure that all of these are just in there. We could probably put it outside, but just to be safe. And so yeah, now we have a chat event that checks for it. We have the inventory click for each item. We have it adding in the glass and the items. We have a create item function. We have the hash map done. And so we have the inventory done. And so all we have to do now is if we do like fly admin, if we just have it so it's like if there isn't any arguments, we could do, sorry, if args.length is equals to 0, what we could do is we could do GUI dot open inventory p. And so if they just do slash fly admin, it'll then open up the GUI. And then this GUI class, it will do the chat events, it'll do the click events, and it'll set up the inventory for the player. You don't need to add in any other like permissions or commands since we're just using this fly admin command. And so yeah, that should be it for this episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.